Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing another full face of first impressions. This is going to be a lot of the stuff that I bought in that Sephora impulse buy haul. If you're interested in seeing that video, I will link it down below. I'll try and link it here, but I kind of like when YouTube Studio changed, I kind of lost the ability to figure out how to add those little info cards. So I will try and figure it out, but if not, it'll definitely be in the description bar below. So I'm going to be trying a lot of those makeup items today. Now I have been trying them since I bought them, so I'm going to be able to give you guys a little bit more of an extended review. Some of the things that I'm using, I haven't tried all that many times. And I didn't buy makeup in every category. I didn't buy a new foundation. I didn't buy any new brow products that I can recall. So some stuff I am going to be using old stuff that I already had in my collection. But yeah, other than that, it should be mostly new stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is I got these Farsali Unicorn Essence Skin Enhancing Drop things that you kind of just put on before you do your makeup, I guess. Is sort of what I've been doing. I don't know exactly what you're supposed to do with them, but I do find that they do give you a really, really nice shine on your face. They don't feel heavy. They don't feel greasy. They smell so good. They smell like vanilla. So it just kind of gives you a little bit of a glow. My hands are kind of I don't know if you can see that my hands are a little bit glowy. So yeah, that was kind of the first thing. So I do really like this. It takes a minute for it to tack down completely, but it isn't right now it's a little sticky, but it's just because it's still wet. It does eventually completely absorb into your skin. I have only tried this one. I'd be curious to try some of the other ones. If you guys have tried the other ones and know of one that I should be trying, let me know down below. I always love hearing what you guys like to use, because maybe I've missed the boat on something, or I've ignored something because I thought, no, that's never going to be good for me. And then you guys come and tell me how great they are and I can try them. I did also buy a primer. I guess this is a primer. It is the Charlotte Tilbury Wonderglow. So this is a glow enhancing primer. So we're going to be super glowy today between this and the Farsali drops. So this just kind of looks like that. And again, it is super, super glowy. It's supposed to blur as well. It's a soft focus kind of, a primer, but it does have that reflect in it as well. I don't know if you guys can see that. I like it. It kind of does the same thing that a strobe cream and a blurring primer would do. So it's kind of a 2-in-1 sort of a combo, but it is super, super glowy in my opinion. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera, but I feel very, very shiny right now. It does look really, really nice under every foundation that I've used with it. It doesn't seem to have any problems holding the foundation or anything like that. And I have noticed that it is really good for long wear as well. If I put my foundation on now, it's 12:30 or something like that. We have dinner plans tonight with friends, so I'm just getting ready now to go run some errands. That way I don't have to do it. I don't have to rush when I get home. But it does seem to hold it for most of the day. Obviously, I'm not going to get home tonight till 10. So if that changes, I can always do what I did with my Rustic Glam video, which I will also link. It should be on my channel. Which is why I'm actually not going to use the Rustic Glam palette in this video, because I gave it its own video because somebody asked for it. And I did buy 3 palettes that day, and that's a lot of shadows to try and fit in. So that's another video, but I did come back at the end of the day with that video to see how it held up. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I can definitely do that. So for foundation, I'm just using my MAC Face and Body, and the reason for that is because I know exactly how it works. It's my favorite foundation. It always works the same, and I'm a little bit more tanned right now on my body, and this is a darker shade. I do have it in a lighter shade as well, but do you guys see how much darker? And so it just kind of gives you an instant tan, and because I like to look a little bit more dewy than I do matte, it just means that I have to use less bronzer to get the same effect of matching my face to the rest of my body. Having said that, I do also have the NARS Laguna liquid bronzer. So for any of my foundations that are a little bit lighter, If I'm looking off that way, there's a mirror up there. I should actually tilt it a little bit better so I can see myself. So, I mean, I didn't have to use this foundation. I could have used any foundation, but like I said, because I know how this foundation wears every other time that I put it on, it'll make it really, really easy to judge the foundations, the setting powders, the bronzers and stuff that I'm going to be using, because this is a foundation that I know really, really well. And also, I've been working on this bottle for so long, and I keep saying, like, I have a full backup that I haven't even gotten into because I'm waiting for this bottle to be empty. So I've been using this, like, every single time lately just because I'm trying to empty it so that I have one less bottle in my drawer, because that drawer is getting really, really full. And I don't have room to put new stuff into it, but I'm also not willing to get rid of that foundation. Like, I refuse. Next thing we're going to do, we're just going to conceal. Again, I didn't buy a new concealer that I can recall that day. So we're just going to use my, excuse me, I just like sucked in a lot of air all at once. This was also in the shade N5, in case you're curious. My normal shade, just in case you're curious as to like if this is something you're interested in doing, like bumping up a shade, my normal shade is N3. So I just went up like one step to get like a darker look. So if you have, like, say you're a C1, maybe you go up to a C3 or something like that. If you're interested in doing like a similar thing that I did. So yeah, so I'm just going to use my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I am super stoked. I've been like, I need to get the new Naked like foundation. I think it's like a, I don't know, it's like a full like melding thing. I really want to try that because I love all of the other Naked stuff. So this is in the shade Light Neutral. So I'm just gonna put it in all of my usual spots. My skin's actually pretty clear right now, so I can do a little less concealing than I might otherwise have had to do, but either way, this is generally what I do. I generally go under the eyes, across my chin, because that's where I have all of my major breakouts, and then a little bit in between my eyebrows, because I have some, like, again, some pore problems there, and then under my nose just for any discoloration. And while that kind of like tacks down a little bit, because I don't like to push it in right away until it's a little tacky, I'm just going to do my brows quick. I'm just using my Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit. This is in the shade 3.5. And I'm just... Now, I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but I've never had my eyebrows professionally done. I need a closer mirror to do this. It's too hard to do it in that mirror that far away. I'm just going to do it in like a little handheld one. So I've never had my brows waxed, tweezed, threaded, plucked, any of that. And basically, it kind of worked out for me because for a while there, like, thin brows were the way to be. Like, we go through these trends, right? So thin brows were like the popular trend, and now it's coming back in to have like your own full brow. And a lot of people that like did the thin brow thing can't grow their natural brows back in, unfortunately, because they tweeze them too much. I was talking to actually the people we're having dinner with tonight. She is like an esthetician, so she does lashes and waxing, and she has pedicures and stuff like that. So she was telling me, like, she did the whole, like, her brows are actually kind of, like, microbladed on because she did that. She waxed them and tweezed them, I guess, so much that now they won't grow back. So I'm really, really grateful that, like, I never touched mine. And it wasn't even really because I was trying to be, like, on trend, to be completely honest. It was just because I was afraid of having anybody touch my eyebrows, because I knew how much it hurt for me to do it when I knew it was coming. I didn't want anybody else touching them, and I knew how bad it looked when I screwed my eyebrows up. At one point, like, I had so many like sparse hairs down here that I just kept tweezing and tweezing and tweezing, and I ended up looking like Spock from Star Trek for like a while until my eyebrows grew back. And I knew how like stupid I felt for doing that, and I didn't want anybody like else to do it, because like it's like when you watch your hair getting done and they do something you don't like that's your own fault for not speaking up. So I was just like, you know what, I'll just eliminate the middleman and I'll never do it. And it worked out for me because I have like quote unquote the trend brow right now, and that happened totally by accident. So after I do my brows, that's when I tend to pat all of the like, what's that stuff, the concealer in, because it's given it enough time to kind of like get less liquidy and like solidify a little bit more. It just blends a little better and it doesn't all lift off. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder in Dim Light to kind of set. I don't really know if that's what this is for or if it's just to give you like an all over look, but I've been doing it that way sometimes when I don't really feel like using like my Laura Mercier loose powder. And I really like the effect that this gives. It gives kind of a similar effect to... yeah, this one, the Milani Prep Set and Glow. Like, they're kind of, not exactly similar, obviously, but it kind of gives that same sort of, like, iridescent sort of a look, like a very, very diffused kind of face look. And I find that it has been working for me and holding all of my liquid makeup down. And also bronzer lays really nicely over that, so that's nice as well. So for bronzer, we're going to use the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. In hindsight, I might have been able to get away with a darker shade. Like, I guess just the chocolate. I don't know. I don't know the difference between them. I just knew how excited I was to finally be able to have one. Now that I found out I never was allergic to chocolate, but whatever. And you guys will know me. I don't contour. Ooh, it tastes so good though. I just sort of bronze up my whole face. And I was talking to somebody about this and why I don't like to contour, and it's because I already have a pretty like long and narrow face. So I find that when I contour, it just gives it like, it makes it too intense almost, if that makes sense. It's the same reason I don't wing my liner, and that's because my eyes kind of like come down. So like if I wing liner and I only do a little wing, it disappears when I open my eyes. I'd have to wing so aggressively that it would just look silly. So that's bronzer done. For highlight, I've got, well, let's do blush first. So I've got a couple we could go with. So I have this Natasha Denona Diamond and Glow blush, and then I also have this Kaja cheek stain in Koi and the NARS Orgasm. So I think we're gonna do the cheek stain. I love this. I use it all the time. Now I just take like an itty little bit, like I'm not pushing it all the way, and I focus it mainly, on like the apple of my cheek, and then I just take my finger and kind of like blend it out, and then I can go up a little bit if I want to, but I'm always like blending away from this area because that's where I want most of the color focused. I'm not a big blush girl. Like, I love blush, but I find that I never put a ton of it on, and maybe I should, but like for me, I don't want it to be like too intense. So I just do a little bit and then blend out as I go. And I just really like the way it looks. I find it looks like a really natural flush. And again, you're not adding powder to a look. So for someone like me who likes that more like fresh, powderless kind of look, it works really, really well for me. For highlighter, again, I have that Diamond and Glow highlighter. It is super glittery. I always say that. It is super glittery though. So we are going to use the NARS Orgasm like drop highlighter. Now, I always hate using these because I find that they're just kind of like really tricky to, like, I don't like dropping them straight on my face because I find they're too liquidy. They just kind of fly away on me. So I just take a little bit on my finger off of the dropper. Like, I can even just put a little bit if I really, oh, that's too much. So I'm gonna put some of this back in the bottle. So I've just got like some on my finger, and then I just kind of use my finger to sort of like push it in and get it exactly where I want it. And I try and do it in kind of like a circular sort of a motion so that I don't end up with like a stark line going up my face because I just find it looks a little silly. Now, I am going to, because I do like to do a like a liquid or a cream highlight and then put a little bit of a powder one on top. So I'm going to use that diamond stuff just so you guys can kind of see what it looks like. Sorry, I'm trying to find stuff and trying not to talk with my back to you guys. But it is so, like, hopefully it shows up. Do you guys see how glittery that is? Like, that is crazy glitter. Like, a lot of glitter. That's okay. Just put a little bit to intensify the shine. I do really like it, but I'm not a big glitter person. I think I bought this more because I like the blush a lot, rather than really for that glittery freaking highlighter. But it is really pretty. It just less is more in my case for that. So now we can move on to eyes. So we are mainly going to be playing with the Jouer Tan Lines palette. I also have got my Violet Voss Fruit Sorbet palette out just in case. And I also have those Kaja like bento trios. So we have a lot of colors to play with. That's just because this one, like, I love this palette, but oh my god, I can't even, ooh. Oh, that's okay. Get it open. Like, I find that it is missing a couple of like transition-y sort of colors that I'd be looking for. So I am going to be kind of using some of those other shadows if required. We will see how it goes. So first things first, again, because I know how well it works, I'm just going to use my Painterly paint pot because I can see, like, I know how this works with all other shadows. And it just is a really, really good, like, baseline starting point to compare how these shadows are holding up for me. Whereas, like, if I were to use a new primer, not that I have a new primer anyway, but if I were to use a new primer that I'd never used before, it'd be really hard for me to tell if it was the shadows that were the problem or the primer that was a problem. So when I'm testing a new primer, I like to do it with shadows, like, that I know how they work. Or when I'm testing new shadows, I like to do it with a primer that I already know how it works. I also have got this eyeliner. Now, I know how these work really, really well, so I'm not super inclined to use it today because I'm not planning on doing something with a lot of blues. But again, I never plan how my looks are going to turn out. They just sort of turn out the way that they do, so we'll kind of see what happens. Sorry, I'm like, I make like the most exaggerated faces sometimes, like something horrible has happened, but nothing happened there. I just sort of dropped a brush. So for the first thing, I'm trying to think of what exactly I want to do because I know I want to play with some of these brighter colors today. Like, but in a subtle way because we are going to dinner. I don't want to look too crazy, but I do like the colors in this palette a lot. So I want to be able to try and use some of every finish to see how it works. So I think we're going to take Beachaholic first and sort of just use that as a starting point up in the crease. One thing I did notice, I've used this palette, I think maybe once. I don't even remember. But like, is this even showing up or is this just me? There's not, like, you get a lot of pigment on the brush and there's not a lot of kickback in the palette itself, which is like really weird. A lot of, maybe it's the softer shadows that are like that. I don't really know. I'd have to like actually look and think about it. But yeah, there's not a ton of fallout. So I don't feel like I'm losing a ton of product, which is really nice because when I was doing the rustic glam kind of tutorial review sort of thing, the fallout from the glitter shadows was just crazy. And I've normally taken it to doing my face makeup first lately, and I don't know really why that is because I used to always do my eyes first in case there was fallout and stuff like that. But I've done a complete 180. And I think a lot of the reason I did that is because sometimes when I'm getting ready, I spend so long doing my eyes that like we'll be running late and I'll go to rush my face. Because I can't go out with just my eyes done, but in theory I could go out with just my face done and just like plop some mascara on or something like that. I think that's why I sort of like change my tune and how I do things, but I don't really have a reason. I just want to see, because I don't want to be, like, my problem with these shadows, not that there's a problem, is that they're all so glittery, and I'm not really looking for a glittery shade at this moment. Like, I use glitters as a topper, not to lay down color, so none of those are really going to work for me for what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for, okay. We're just going to have to kind of like continue on and hope that this all works out the way I plan on it to. I think we're going to go in with some Sunburst just up in that crease. I had not intended on doing this, but let's just sort of see how it goes. Now this shadow is a bit like softer of a shadow, like the consistency, not even just the color. So there is a tiny bit of like kickback in the palette. I don't even know if you guys can see like how tiny I'm talking about. It's so small just compared to the first one, but again, it's not bad at all. That's actually a really nice color. Like, it's very soft yellow, and it's blending really nicely with that like peach we laid down before. So that actually, even though I hadn't intended on doing this, it kind of worked. And I wasn't originally going to go all the way from in to out, like inner crease to outer crease, but it kind of happened, so we're just going to kind of follow through. So that's where we're at right now. Okay. So here's my thought process. Just go with me on this. So I was originally going to do like this and then into this like limelight color and then use some of this color under my eye. But I think I'm going to pull away from that a little bit. I think we're going to go in with sort of these 3 or 4 colors here, like these more neutral tones, finish up the upper eyelid, and then maybe use some of that green or some of that blue as like an under eye kind of like pop of color. Having said that, though, if I do that, I won't end up needing to use this palette, which is okay because I will just tell you guys right now, I have been using this palette and it is freaking awesome. Like, the color pigmentation is out of this world. I can always use the green a little bit if I so decide. But so let's stick mostly with this palette for now, just because I'm really liking the way that the shadows are laying on top of each other and I kind of want to continue with that. So let me just look at what's going on. Let's take this color Heat Wave. It's kind of like a pinky color. And I'm just going to deepen in here a bit. So this time I am literally just focusing this very, very deep set in my crease on the outer part of my eye. Because I don't want to take too much away from that yellow, and I find that sometimes when I overlay like darker colors, you lose the colors from underneath, and I'm trying really hard not to do that. So we've got that yellow and that pink and that peach. Let's go in with a little bit of the brown, which is in Driftwood. We're just going to take a tiny, tiny bit of that and use it kind of like as an outer corner, sort of tie it all together, sort of a color. I kind of like that this is like a softer look. I think it's really pretty. So I can still see like that original peach. I can see the pinky color. I can definitely see the yellow and the brown. I'm really liking this look now that I've got it going. That doesn't happen to me very often. I find that it's normally the opposite. Like, I have these ideas in my head and I'm like, oh, that'll look amazing. And then I like go to do it and I'm like, oh, that looks like crap. All right, so I'm not sure if these like foiled shadows apply better with a finger or a brush or if they need to be wetted. So I'm just taking a flat brush and we're gonna go into Tankini, and I have a plan to kind of like lay that over most of my lid and then take the Sure Thing color and put that as an inner corner highlight. Now I am like trying to pick it up on the brush and it's not really like doing much. So let's just try on the finger and just see. Like, do these need to be wet? Maybe. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I would normally pick it up on the brush and then wet it, but it's not even really picking up on the brush, so let me get Fix Plus, because that's my go-to for wetting a brush down. And I'm just gonna spray, trying not to like directly mist it because it might be too much, and see if I can pick some up. See, now it's kind of picking up a little bit better. Not even though. Oh, it does actually look really pretty. It's very subtle. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, you do need to maybe wet your brush a little bit. I guess if you do go in the original way I was going in, you just get like a softer effect. But yeah, now it's actually like picking up like kind of like chunks of it, and then once you put it on, if you pat it down and blend it out, it'll cover more of an area. And I did just have like a little tiny fleck of it down there, and I just flicked it away. It didn't because it's kind of like actually like foil, like almost like a gold leaf, if that makes sense, where if you put it on and you deliberately pat it down, it will like spread out, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But if you like miss like I did, and you just kind of fleck at it, it stays sort of a solid chunk, which is kind of nice. So that's kind of what we have going right now, and I'm really liking it. I really like, once figuring out how those foils work, really, really pretty. Now we're going to take the color Sure Thing, and we're going to do an inner corner kind of a thing with it. Again. Okay, so nothing's coming on the brush. Let's just do it this way. So there it is on my finger. That looks nice, I think. These colors are all working really, really nicely together. I'd be interested to see how the blues work in conjunction with some of these colors, but I still think it would actually be okay. So I'm not going to do too much more. I will put a color underneath just to sort of see. I'm debating between like the blue and the green, so I'm just going to finish up my upper lid, like put a liner on. No, you know what? Let's just do this now. Let's just get it done with. I'm trying to really decide which color is like really screaming at me more. I'm really leaning towards the green, but I think it would be too much, so I'm gonna go in with this vitamin C color. Yeah, I like that because it still keeps it really soft. Oopsies. I don't think I went in with like a pointy enough brush now that I'm in there. I can't even see the brush that I would normally try and use, so I'm just gonna go in with like one of these ones. Okay, and this way. So that looks nice. I guess I could, no, I'm not going to. I was gonna say I could definitely put some of that Roxy color in my waterline, that bright blue, but I think I'm gonna leave it because sometimes I do tend to like go overboard and I keep being like, I'll add this and I'll add this and I'll add this. And I never stop when I should just stop. And I think now is the time that I should just stop. So I'm going to go in with that Fenty Beauty Fly Liner, the black one. I've been using this as well and I really, really like it. At first I didn't like the tip, but now that I've gotten used to it, I do really, really like it. So, cue the funny faces. Okay, I went a little thicker than I had intended, but that's fine. We'll just match it to the other eye, right? Okay, I went under a bit, but again, it's fine. I can fix it. It's not a big deal. So, everything always comes together with eyeliner. It's so weird. Okay, sorry, I'm just brushing some of the like excess powder and stuff off. So I really like that. Is this waterproof? I can't remember. It doesn't say it is, it just says it's Longwear, and I'm almost better with that because every time I use waterproof stuff, I can't get it off my face. For mascara, this is not one that I bought in the impulse buys, but it is one that I picked up like 2 days after that I haven't used. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. I kind of got it because it looks a lot like the Too Faced packaging, and I wanted to see how similar the wands were. Like, is this supposed to be the drugstore kind of like dupe? The brushes are similar. This one does taper in, like the Better Than Sex brush does kind of like taper in and then back out, sort of like an hourglass. But high-end like mascara is really, really expensive. So if I can find some drugstore alternates, that's probably not a bad idea for me because, like I said, I have a lot of high-end ones and I like them, but then they cost you $40 a tube to replace, and that just seems a little aggressive because it is just mascara, and even though that's important, I'd rather spend the money on like more fun eyeshadows or stuff like that. Why do I make weird faces when I do this? I kind of like, I forget I'm doing it on camera, and then I look and I'm like, it's great. It's a great thing. Okay, so that is pretty much everything. We are going to use this Cover FX Dewy Finish Setting Spray. I'm wondering if I'm actually going to be able to tell that it's a dewy finish. I was thinking about that the other day. I was like, every time I buy one that says dewy finish and then I spray it on my face, I can't tell a difference from that to like some of the other ones because my makeup itself is dewy. So I'm like, is it the makeup doing it or is it the setting spray? I don't really know. This one's got like a little ball in it to really mix it up. I should probably wait for this mascara to tack down before I spray this everywhere. Here, ready? Okay, the mister on this thing kind of sucks. Like I don't know if you guys can see. Ready? Oh, that looked nice. I guess it's because I was moving it, but does not taste very nice. So I guess maybe it kind of made me a little dewier. I don't know. We'll see once it dries down how it works. But so that is going to be this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Overall, I'd say I'm pretty, you know what I realized? I don't have any lips on. Let me take it back. What do we feel like today? Something fun? Something normal? Something golden. You know what, since my hair is back today, let's play with, no, I don't want to play with that. Give me a minute. Okay, so I finally picked one out. I realized I did this off camera. I was hemming and hawing between like a bright, bold lipstick, but I really like the way that my eyes look, so I don't want to take away from that. So I just went in with one of my Kylie Cosmetics matte liquid lipsticks. This one's in the shade One Wish, and then I thought I would use this new Alamar Cosmetics Mother of Pearl gloss and kind of do that over top as just like a little bit of a shimmer effect. But now I have to wait for the Kylie Cosmetics one to tack down. Oh, it is tacked down. That's one thing I really like about those, is that they're really quick to set. So there is that. I normally wouldn't do lip gloss, but because my hair is pulled back today, I feel like it's okay. More okay than if it were down. So now that that's done, I have actually finished my whole look. Overall, I'd say I'm really happy with everything I bought. I haven't found anything that I bought in that haul that I was like, oh, what a waste of money. So that's really, really nice, because sometimes when I do that, I'm like, why did I buy that? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Let me know what of these products you have, what other products I should maybe get the next time I go to Sephora. I don't know when that will be. I might wander there today. We'll kind of see what happens. But yeah, if you like these kind of videos and want to see more tutorials, let me know. You kind of know what I have in my makeup collection, or if there's new products out that you're like, yeah, we want to see you try that out and do a review, let me know. I can go pick them up. I'm sort of down to do whatever you guys want within reason. So yeah, let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys. Like this video, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye. Okay, so it is like 9:45, so I have had this makeup on for about 9 hours now. And it's held up pretty well, I would say. Like, I can still see the little bits of blue under my eyes. I will say that there's been like some shimmer migration to under my eye. I'm sure you guys can pick that up, but I don't know if that's necessarily from the eyeshadow or from that like glitter diamond glow powder I put on earlier. Sorry, the camera was at like a weird like upward kind of angle. It looked kind of funny. Other than that, the only thing that has done a lot of wear is my lipstick, which I kind of expected because I did go out for dinner and I was eating wings and stuff, and even like in and around here where I was like wiping with a wet nap has held up pretty well. I feel like I look a little greasy, and I don't know if that's the setting spray or if I'm just sweaty because it's hot out and I just ran up some stairs. But yeah, that's the other thing. Other than that, like, no, I know I wasn't like testing out that foundation, but the foundation doesn't separate anywhere like other foundations, like not here or up here or anything like that. Other than that, I'd say it held up pretty well. So I am still really, really happy with everything that I bought. I just thought I would come and check in with you guys so you guys knew. Okay, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.